All right, guys. Happy Thursday evening. It's time for another USACC build update. I think the last time I talked to you guys about this thing, I didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to do. I was thinking factory stock, and I actually bought some parts for factory stock. And then I started messing with some Z-Force ModelWorks wheels, and I think that's the direction I'm going to go. I just want to show you a couple things, when I first started building again after COVID and I got back into the hobby, one of the things that I noticed with a lot of builders, and now it's blown up into epic proportions, is the 3D and the parts and the aftermarket parts. I didn't know where everybody was getting those parts. So every once in a while, I try to highlight some of these aftermarket parts makers because they make some really good stuff. Ryan over at Z-Force ModelWorks is really, really turning up the notch. I mean, he is really, really doing some really good work. His wheels, I've always been a fan of his designs on his wheels. That's the wheel I'm going with right there. That's a Rambler. And I think that's going to look really killer if you get it the right height. That's going to look great. I love how that looks in there. That's the ticket for me. The Resto Mod look on these 69 Camaros, you can't hardly beat it. It's such a sexy car. And factory stock is sexy, but the Resto Mod, choosing your paint, not going with a factory color, I think that's the way to go, and that's the way I think I'm going to go. But I also want to highlight where I bought my factory stock wheels, and I will be doing a factory stock build of that car just later. But these are the wheels that I bought, and I mean, just look at how clean these wheels are. I'm going to try to get some light on it. One of the things that I've been told is that I live in the dungeon down here, and I don't have a lot of light, so bear with me here. Centerpiece fell out. But you get the idea. That is just really a nice wheel. He did some really, I mean, look how clean that is. That's just a beautiful example of what a Chevy rally wheel looks like. Just a really, really good job. Those wheels come from Mean Machine Models. So go on to Google and type in Mean Machine Models, and he's got some really good wheels on there. If you're into factory, nobody does them quite as good when it comes to factory as he's doing it right now. But I'll show you what I've done to the car so far to get to where I think I could put the Z-Force wheels in it. So if you'll notice, this frame comes with these little pieces that kind of take up space right in here. So I cut those out on both sides. Now I'll cover that with some sheet plastic. And of course you'll never know that was done. Also had to sand down back here because it narrows down back here and it takes away some of the space you need. So I'll be sanding some more on that. The body, I haven't done anything to the body, but the ideas that I have right now are basically just let it speak for itself, other than this ledge right here underneath the doors. There's a ledge there. It's supposed to be chrome. I'm not a fan of that, so I'm going to take that off, I believe. I am going to use some of Ryan's, at Z-Force, some of his brake rotors, because you can see right through these wheels. And if you've never had these wheels, these things are so, I mean, they paint up so nice. It comes, he does this in a black resin, but I actually paint the tire myself with, I use Splash black rubber, and basically get it to look the way I want it to look. And then usually what I'll do is I'll paint this, some of Splash's 2K black, let that set up for a couple days, and then I will probably paint this a different color. But the Splash 2K black is a great base for your chrome. So this will be chrome, and this will probably be a gunmetal or something of that nature, because the color I have in mind, it's a darker color. So I'm going to go with that. And I think it'll look good. I think it'll look really good. I think that's it. The other thing I had to do was in the tub. So we have these corners that stick through those holes, because that's what that little section that I cut out on the frame was for, so that these would fit in there. So I'm going to cut those out as well, but you'll never notice that because the back seat will cover that right up. So this will just be factory. I am flirting with, I've been messing with the roll cage. Another thing I've done is I've kind of angled these on the rear end. I've kind of angled that in, so I'm making more room. Also, these come with these little male pins and I cut those off. And what I'll probably end up doing is cutting this little section here off so the wheel fits into the rotor. What I'll have to do with the rotor is I'll have to drill a hole that matches up with the size of the rear end, the actual axle. So this diameter right here. And I think that's it. I think the next time I'll talk to you, I might have it painted, or at least in primer, and moving forward. So got some work to do to get there. I've got engine choices I've got to make. I've got exhaust to plan to plan out. And that's another thing Z-Force has been doing, is they now make tools that can help you customize your own exhaust. So get over to Z-Force. He makes some good stuff over there. So I think that's it. All right, guys. Have a good night. Happy building. This is Terry. I'm out.